Welcome to Malifaux University. 607. Gaining Ground Scheme, Power Ritual. Power Ritual is a pretty straightforward scheme to play, and is identical in all ways to the core rules scheme of the same name. The goal is to drop scheme markers in the corners of the playing area. The reveal condition for Power Ritual is scored at the end of the turn. If you have at least one scheme marker within 3 inches of any corner of the table outside of your deployment zone, you remove one scheme marker and score the victory point. It doesn't matter if models are near it, and it doesn't have to be touching anything. It doesn't even have to be completely within 3 inches of the corner. Just a part of the scheme marker will count. If you have an encounter with standard or wedge deployment, that will mean you have only 2 corners to work with for the reveal. Corner or flank deployment have 2 neutral corners though, so that gives you 3 corners to use for the reveal condition. The end condition is revealed at the end of the game and is a bigger version of the reveal condition. You need to have 3 or more different scheme markers, each within 3 inches of a different corner of the playing area. Only one of these is allowed to be in your own deployment zone, so the other 2 must be in neutral or enemy corners. If you have at least 3 in place like this, you remove 3 and score the victory point. Remember that summoned models don't count for friendly schemes or strategies and cannot take the interact action for the turn they are summoned. This means you cannot summon a model and have it interact to drop a scheme marker that turn, but it could the following turn as long as it wasn't summoned in turn 5. Of course, if the model you summon has ways of dropping scheme markers without using interact, that would totally get around this restriction. I'll take a brief moment now to thank all those who were patrons at the time this video was made, especially Sergey, Keith, Alan, Jeremy, Tom, and Travis, and many more at the free student tier. Your support is essential to bringing these videos to life. Let's see this in action. In this game between Perdita Ortega and the Dreamer, the Neverborn crew is working on Power Ritual. They've already scored the reveal condition, and in turn 4, they're working on placing scheme markers for the end condition. Fleet-footed Capilius uses his move stat of 7 to get to this far corner and drop a scheme marker. He'll hang out here to guard it, making sure the family crew doesn't remove it. They have a scheme marker in the corner of their own deployment zone with this stitched together, but the only corner left available has this pistolero lingering in it. The Dreamer activates and walks once to get within 8 inches of the pistolero. He then uses his Manifest Nightmares tactical action to summon an Alp. The Waking Dream upgrade attached to it means the Alp comes into play buried and stunned, so the Neverborn player sets the model aside and the Guild player gains a pass token. The Dreamer then uses his Twist Reality projectile attack on the pistolero, electing for the pistolero to defend with willpower. The Dreamer wins the duel and winds up doing 2 damage to the pistolero. Since the Guild model failed a willpower duel, the Alp gets to unbury in base contact with it. The Alp's Bad Dreams ability does 1 damage to the pistolero, and its Made to Kill ability lets it take a swipe with its imaginary claws. Cards are flipped, and the Alp winds up killing the already wounded pistolero. The Alp cannot take the interact action this turn since it was just summoned, but during its activation, it walks over to the corner to be in place to drop a scheme marker in turn 5. The next turn, the Alp drops a scheme marker with the interact action, and at the end of the turn, having successfully prevented the Guild from removing any of the scheme markers, the Dreamer removes the 3 markers to score the victory point. That's the Gaining Ground scheme, Power Ritual. Pick up a printable set of all the markers and tokens you need to play Malifaux in the Wargames Vault. If you haven't already, join us on Patreon to receive early, ad-free access to all new content. And be sure to visit the Malifaux University gift shop for the latest in Malifaux-themed shirts, hoodies, drinkware, and more. Links are in the notes below. And remember, play friendly games, keep it simple, and have fun.